I want to tell you about the Bianyo alcohol-based markers. These markers are out of this world. Okay, first of all, check out this bag, this really amazing carry bag. This is the 72 pack. So open up the bag, blammo, look at all these markers and look at the color choices. That is so many different color choices. And I just love that the bag just stays open and you can just set it down on the table and get to work. The other really cool thing about these markers is that they're all double-sided. So we have one side that is the chisel tip, the big fat chisel tip, and the other side is thin. Can you see that? There, thin and fine tipped. So instead of having to have two sets of markers, one fat and one thin, we have all of that within just one marker. So we've got the chisel tip and the thin for all of these markers. Now, the next thing to tell you about is how incredibly they color. First, let me show you this picture that my son colored. Look at this, okay? So my son, who is older, colored this way, and he colored very methodically all in one direction. My 6-year-old finished this down here. So her technique to color was a little bit different. So you can see kind of the differences, but my son did the rest of this, and look, it almost looks like paint. Like it so beautifully goes on to paper. Let me show you what the back looks like though, okay? This is a regular piece of printer paper. Let me show you the back. So these markers do bleed, but it is so worth it because of the look that you get in the end. These markers do have an odor because they are alcohol based, but it's something that you very much get used to. It's not a big deal at all. I just want to show you how I'm going to just color. We have now had these markers for 1 year, and we have only had one dry out, and that is because its lid got left off. So of course it's going to dry out, but when the lids get put back on nicely, there is no problem with drying out. We have had zero trouble with them drying out. These markers are spectacular, and I highly recommend them to anyone. Just use either thicker paper. See, it did bleed a little bit. Either use thicker paper, or what I have my kids do, because we just like using printer paper, is we have a piece of poster board that is just the page that they put down on the table to protect the table from all the bleed throughs, and that works great because, again, these markers are worth it. These markers are a bazillion times better than the typical markers that you find at your local box store. So highly recommend these.